Hello, I am Ryan.
Hello, I am Amy. Welcome to Listen to English Podcast.
And today, we're going to be talking about how to think fast and speak smart.
That's right. This is something I think everyone struggles with, finding the right words. Like sometimes your mind goes blank. So, we are going to give you some very simple tips so you can feel more confident speaking. Studies show that one of the main reasons we stumble in our speech is good old-fashioned nervousness.
Yeah.
Like when we feel anxious, our brain triggers this fight or flight response,
Right.
and it floods our system with adrenaline and basically slams on the brakes of our thinking processes.
I can definitely relate to that. It's like when you're about to give a presentation, like your palms get sweaty,
Yeah.
your heart starts racing, and you can't remember your name, let alone the brilliant points that you wanted to make.
Exactly. And in addition to those physical responses, a lot of people also get caught up trying to create like the perfect sentence.
Oh, yeah.
And ironically, this ends up hurting their fluency. It's
Yeah.
like they have this inner editor who's like constantly looking at every single word.
Yeah.
And it just creates this like hesitant and stilted delivery.
So true. So instead of
Yeah.
just speaking our minds, we're just stuck overthinking.
Right.
And then we just can't speak.
Exactly.
It appears that another common hurdle, particularly for those learning a new language, is this tendency to translate in their heads.
Yes,
And this just takes up so much time, and it just ruins that flow of natural speech.
for sure.
So we've identified some of the key reasons why we might struggle to think fast and speak clearly. But how can we overcome these obstacles and become more confident speakers?
That's the big question.
Yeah, like, can we train our brains to think and speak more effectively?
Absolutely. And the good news is it's not about becoming a linguistic superhero overnight.
Okay.
It's about incorporating simple but powerful techniques into our daily lives to gradually sharpen our mental agility and boost our communication skills.
Okay, so let's dive into those techniques. Where do we even begin to train our brains for this kind of speed and clarity?
Well, studies show that daily speaking practice, even when you're alone, is an incredibly effective way to enhance your fluency. So, like, try narrating your day, describing your surroundings, or even pretending like you're giving a presentation to an imaginary audience. Anything to get those verbal gears turning.
So it's like treating our brains like muscles.
Yeah.
The more we exercise them, the stronger they become
Yeah.
and more flexible, right?
Precisely. And just like with physical exercise, we can add some challenges to our mental workouts.
Yeah.
Word games are a fantastic way to do this.
Okay.
So, like, try playing games like Just a Minute, where you have to speak for a full minute without hesitation, repetition, or deviation from a given topic.
Wow, that sounds like a fun and challenging way to flex those mental muscles.
It is.
What other word games can you recommend?
Another great one is categories.
Okay.
So, like, choose a category, like types of fruit or countries in Europe, and just try to list as many items as possible within a set time limit.
Oh, I love that.
These games not only boost your vocabulary and knowledge, but they force you to think quickly and speak spontaneously.
Yeah, it's like a mental boot camp for your communication skills. It appears that another particularly effective strategy, especially for language learners, is to immerse yourself in the English language as much as possible.
Yes.
Listen to podcasts, watch movies and TV shows,
Yeah.
read English books and articles, and even try singing along to English songs. The more you surround yourself with the language, the more naturally you'll start to think and speak in English.
Yeah, and you'll be able to do it without translating in your head.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I imagine it takes a conscious effort to shift from translating in your head to thinking directly in English, right?
Yeah.
It's like breaking an old habit and forming a new one.
You're absolutely right. At first, you'll probably find yourself catching yourself translating, but that's totally normal.
Yeah.
The key is to gently redirect your thinking towards English, and over time, it'll become more and more automatic.
Okay.
It's like creating this new pathway in your brain, one that leads to fluent and confident English communication.
So we've covered this thinking fast aspect of our discussion, but what about speaking smart? What does that even entail?
Yeah.
Is it about using big, impressive words and complex sentences?
Not necessarily speaking smartly is all about conveying your ideas clearly and effectively, even if you're not speaking at lightning speed.
Okay.
Sometimes less is more.
So it's not about trying to sound like a walking dictionary, right?
No, not at all.
It's more about just getting your message across.
Yeah, in a way that is easily understood.
Okay.
It appears that short, concise sentences often have like a greater impact
Oh.
than like long, rambling ones.
Yeah.
They allow your listener to like follow your train of thought without getting lost in a maze of words and clauses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've definitely been in conversations where I felt like I was just drowning in a sea of words and completely lost track of like the main point.
Yeah, like trying to navigate a dense forest without a map.
Exactly.
And when you use shorter sentences, you naturally create pauses in your speech,
Right.
which gives you and your listener time to process the information
Okay.
and formulate responses.
So what if you do need a moment to gather your thoughts? Are there any tips to avoid those awkward silences that sometimes creep into conversations?
Absolutely. Having a few go-to phrases in your back pocket can be so helpful.
Okay.
Simple things like, "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a moment." Or, "That's an interesting point. I haven't considered that before." Can buy you some valuable thinking time without making you sound unprepared.
So it's like having a set of tools,
Yes,
a conversational tool set
exactly.
to help you navigate those tricky moments.
Yeah, and don't underestimate the power of body language.
Okay.
Like, even if you're feeling flustered on the inside, maintaining a confident posture, a genuine smile, and making eye contact can project this air of composure and control.
So it's not just about the words we say, it's also about like how we present ourselves non-verbally.
Exactly. It's all part of this, like, holistic approach to communication.
Okay.
And here's a crucial point that I think is worth repeating.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
I
Every speaker, no matter how experienced, occasionally stumbles over words or phrases.
We're all human.
Exactly. The important thing is to just keep going to learn from those slip-ups and to view each conversation as an opportunity for growth.
It's about focusing on progress over perfection.
Yes.
Right.
It appears that shifting our mindset from one of fear and self-criticism to one of curiosity and continuous improvement can make a huge difference in our ability to communicate effectively.
So true.
Remember, every conversation is a chance to learn to connect and to express ourselves more fully.
Okay, so we've explored a range of techniques for thinking fast and speaking smart, from daily practice and word games to embracing those pauses and harnessing the power of body language.
Yeah.
But how about we put some of these ideas into practice
Yeah.
with a few interactive exercises?
I'd love to. Let's engage those mental muscles and see how you, our listener, fare in these real-time challenges.
All right, get ready to think on your feet. Imagine you're meeting someone new, and they ask that classic icebreaker question.
Oh, yeah?
What's your favorite food?
Everyone's got one.
Take a few seconds to formulate your answer, just as you would in a real conversation. Don't overthink it. Just go with your gut. We'll give you 5 seconds. Ready, go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And time's up.
How'd you do?
Hopefully you were able to come up with a response without getting stuck in analysis paralysis,
Right.
even if it's something simple like pizza or chocolate cake.
Yeah.
The point is to demonstrate that you can respond promptly and confidently without letting those nerves take over.
For sure.
Now let's try a slightly more complex one that challenges your ability to be concise and organized. Describe your morning routine in just 3 sentences. What are the essential steps that get you out the door and ready to face the day?
Okay.
All right, take a moment to visualize your morning routine. What are the key elements that set you up for success?
Or at least ensure you make it to work on time.
Exactly. Ready, set, go. 5 seconds on the clock.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's it. How did you do? Were you able to distill your morning ritual into a succinct 3-sentence summary?
I hope so.
These might seem like simple exercises, but they highlight the importance of mental agility and clear communication in everyday situations.
Exactly. And the beauty is you can practice them anytime, anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Challenge yourself while you're waiting in line at the grocery store,
Right.
commuting to work on the train, or even doing the dishes.
Yeah. It's like sneaking in a mini workout for your brain throughout the day.
Exactly.
And speaking of practice, I think it's worth emphasizing that finding a speaking partner can be incredibly helpful in accelerating your progress.
Absolutely. Having someone to bounce ideas off of, to provide feedback, and even just to hold you accountable can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
It appears that we humans are social creatures, and we tend to learn more effectively when we're interacting with others.
Totally. Plus, it's much more fun to share those awkward moments and celebrate those victories with a friend or colleague who's on the same journey.
Yeah.
It's like having a cheerleader in your corner, encouraging you to push yourself further and to embrace the challenges along the way.
And even if you don't have a dedicated speaking partner, try practicing in front of a mirror.
Oh, yeah.
It might feel a little strange at first,
Yeah.
but it allows you to become more aware of your body language and facial expressions, which play a crucial role in conveying confidence and clarity.
Oh, yeah, the classic mirror technique. I remember doing that when I was preparing for public speaking events.
Yeah.
It appears that if we approach speaking with fear and self-doubt, it's almost as if we're setting ourselves up for failure. But if we can shift our perspective and view it as an opportunity for connection and expression, it becomes much less intimidating.
Precisely. It's about reframing those negative thoughts and focusing on the positive aspects of communication. Remember, every time you speak, you're sharing a part of yourself with the world. So first and foremost, remember that nervousness is often the culprit behind those brain freezes.
Yeah.
So the more we can calm those nerves and approach speaking with a sense of ease, the more naturally our words will flow.
It's like we're releasing the handbrake on our mental agility,
Yeah.
allowing our thoughts and our words to just move freely and effortlessly.
Precisely. And one of the most effective ways to combat those nerves is through consistent practice.
Yeah.
Treat your brain like a muscle that needs regular exercise.
Right.
Engage in daily conversations.
Yeah.
Even if it's just talking to yourself, narrating your day, or practicing with a friend.
And don't forget the power of word games.
Oh, yes. Those are so fun.
Challenging ourselves with games like
Yeah.
Just a Minute or categories
Right.
can really help us enhance our mental flexibility and vocabulary.
It can.
And it'll make us more adept at thinking on our feet and finding the right words
Yeah.
in those tricky situations.
It appears that another powerful strategy, particularly for language learners, is to immerse yourself in the English language as much as possible.
Right. Surround yourself with English podcasts, movies, TV shows, books, and music.
Exactly.
The more you expose yourself to the language, the more naturally you'll begin to think and speak in English
And you want it to translate.
without relying on translation.
For sure.
It's like you're creating an English-speaking environment for your brain,
Yeah.
allowing it to absorb all the nuances of the language
Yes.
and develop a more intuitive grasp of its structure and flow.
Exactly. And when it comes to speaking smartly, remember that clarity is key.
Right.
Focus on conveying your ideas effectively, using simple, concise language and well-structured sentences. Don't get bogged down in trying to sound overly sophisticated or academic.
Yeah, it's about getting your message across in a way that's easily understood and remembered
Right.
without overwhelming our listeners with unnecessary jargon or complexity.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to use those helpful phrases to buy yourself some thinking time when you need it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question. Let me
Yeah.
think about that for a moment. Or that's an interesting point. I haven't considered that before.
Yeah.
These simple phrases can give you a valuable pause without making you sound unprepared or hesitant.
It's like having a toolbox
Yes.
of conversational strategies
Exactly.
that you can access whenever you need a moment to gather your thoughts
For sure.
or shift gears in the conversation.
And of course, never underestimate the power of body language.
Yeah.
Maintaining a confident posture, offering a genuine smile, and making eye contact with your listener
Right.
can really enhance the impact of your words
It can.
and project an aura of self-assurance.
So it's like adding an extra layer of communication.
Yeah.
One that conveys confidence, openness, and a genuine interest in connecting with your listener.
And perhaps most importantly, embrace those imperfections.
Yeah.
Remember that everyone makes mistakes, even the most seasoned speakers. It's part of what makes us human and relatable.
It's those little stumbles and fumbles that add character and authenticity to our communication style.
Exactly. The key is to view those slip-ups as opportunities for growth, not as failures. The more you practice, the more confident and fluent you will become. And remember, the journey of becoming a more effective communicator is an ongoing one.
It is.
There's always room for improvement, but it's so important to celebrate those small wins along the way.
So true. So as we conclude our podcast on thinking fast and speaking smart, here's a final thought for you to ponder.
Okay, I'm ready.
We focus primarily on verbal communication, but how might those nonverbal cues like facial expressions, gestures, and body posture impact our thinking speed and clarity?
That is something to think about.
It's a fascinating area to explore,
It is.
and one that underscores the interconnectedness of our minds and bodies.
It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you all today.
It has been fun.
Until next time, keep those conversations flowing. Embrace the power of your words, and remember, the world is eager to hear what you have to say.
And if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to share it with a friend or colleague who might also benefit from these insights. Let's empower each other to become more confident, articulate, and engaging communicators. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep those conversations flowing.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow and reach more English learners like you. By subscribing, you'll never miss a new episode, and by liking the video, you're letting us know you want more helpful content. Thank you for your support. It means so much to us.